me tell you about the worst Airbnb I've ever booked, okay? So it was my husband and I's 2-year wedding anniversary. We're young, we're broke, but we still want to do something romantic, okay? We decided we're gonna book an Airbnb in the mountains because what's more romantic and cheap than being in the middle of nowhere? So I find this listing. Reviews were like all 5 stars. It was a 1-bedroom cabin with a mountain view, okay? I'm messaging the host and the host says to me she will personally let us in. We drive like 3 hours. By the time we get there, the sun's already setting. We get there and we knock on the door. This old lady gives us a little tour of the cabin. She shows us to her room and then she turns to me and she says, "If you guys need anything, I'll be sleeping on the futon." Excuse me, what? What did you say? What did he say? I made sure that this was an entire listing. At this point, I can't tell an old lady the vai cagar now, can I? No, I can't tell her vai cagar. It gets worse. The only bathroom in the house is in our bedroom. Look, I'm not really wanting to stay there. Not really wanting to drive down this mountain in the dark. While I'm unpacking my toiletries, I hear like 2 cars pull up. Out hops out like 8 grannies. Stay quiet for 30 minutes hoping that they would leave. And then all of a sudden, bingo! Excuse me, what? The host sees us come out of the room. She comes up to me and she's like, "I forgot to mention, it's bingo night in my house this week and I hope that's all right." What would you do? Are you gonna curse out an old lady in front of 8 of her friends? You are outnumbered. It's fine. Let's rewind this story a little bit. Remember when I told you that there's only 1 bathroom in this cabin? I don't know if you know this, but old ladies can't hold their pee for a very long time. And bingo is 3 hours long. Within those 3.5 hours, I met Margaret, Suzanne, and Kathy. How could anybody give this place a 5-star rating? So I go back and I read the reviews. And there I see it. Margaret, Kathy, Suzanne. Best time of our lives. Best times of whose lives? Not mine. Not mine. I'm not gonna leave a negative review, okay? And ruin an old lady's happiness. No, I'm gonna call corporate and they're going to do it for me. Airbnb refunded me though. What is the lesson we learned? Who in the class wants to tell me? Quem prestou atenção, Make sure that it's not her friends that are leaving reviews. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. Biz. Ciao.
Hey y'all, get ready with me for dinner as I tell the story of how my bus driver killed my neighbor's dog. So basically, this was when my sister went to middle school. This was like 5 years ago. She was on the bus with her friend. Her friend was like coming home with her, and usually she doesn't ride the bus. But my mom went to go, couldn't pick her up that day. She's like, "Oh, so can you ride the bus?" But yeah, my neighbor used to have that same bus driver, but he went to like a different middle school. But I don't know, I guess he still had the same driver. So basically, he's like used to stopping like in their driveway to like drop her off, because we have like a cul-de-sac, so it's like easier to just do like the first house. And so mind you, the only reason he was going in our neighborhood was just to drop off my sister and her friend, just because my mom had a lunch with her friend. So, you know, if school ends, they get on the bus and they're like riding home. And, you know, after all the stops, they go to our neighborhood, and my sister's friend goes like, "Oh, there's a little dog. He needs to like stop before he hits the dog." And so my sister like looks over like out the window and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's Charlie, our neighbor's dog's name." And so they're like yelling, they're like, "Stop, stop, stop." But like before, obviously, they could like say it, he literally they feel like a bump and they ran over the dog. And this dog was blind and deaf, but it's really small, like little Yorkie, about like yay big. So, I don't know why I said yay big, but yeah. So it always like slips out of the gate, so, because it's so small. But yeah, my mom had to be the one to bear the bad news to my neighbor. And that was like her favorite dog. Like they had a bunch of dogs, but that was like their favorite. And the bus driver still doesn't know to this day.
So I got jumped today in school. And I'm telling you, I didn't even do anything. But get ready with me while I tell you about the time I got jumped, which was today. So basically, we all know it's just like I'm the prettiest, you know? And being pretty comes with things that you have to sacrifice. And today, this girl thought it was a good idea to get up out of the classroom, drag my hair, and start beating me to the ground. I didn't get any bruises or any scrapes because pretty people don't get bruises. And the bruises I do have, they're like in the back, so like they're like on like my back, so like I can't show you. She said be prepared for tomorrow, so. But I guess that's what happens when you're pretty. You can't control it.
Okay, if you ever feel like you acted a little bit crazy with a guy and you're scared you won't be able to get him back. One time, my guy friend in college went home with a girl one time and she just caused chaos in our life. After they went home together, she started texting him a lot. He stopped replying to her text, so she started writing notes and gave them to his roommate to deliver to him. That's an idea. Anytime he didn't like her Instagram photo within like 3 or 4 hours, she would send a screenshot of it to him and be like, so your friends liked this Instagram photo, why didn't you? There's a question. One time she called him and said, hey, I'm out at the bar with your lab partner right now. And he said, how do you know who my lab partner is? How is that something that you know about me? He started complaining and saying things like, I gotta get rid of this girl. And I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of starting to like her, to be honest. Anytime she would walk into whatever bar he was at, he would run. And he would tell us to pretend like we never saw him. Texts from her kept coming, the calls from her kept coming. She was unfazed. Until one day he blocked her number. And I was, to be honest, I was a little bit sad. I was rooting for her, honestly. Let's call her Carla. Carla had no way of contacting him now until 3 weeks later, we were all out together. He was scrolling on Instagram and he sees Carla just standing in the background of someone else's Instagram photo, looking really hot. She had a really hot outfit on. And I saw his face. He was like, I'm texting Carla. And all of us were like, didn't she write your roommate's letters? Okay. I liked her the entire time, so I don't really care, you know? That is how easy men are. That is how easy they forget. He took Carla on a date. They obviously broke up the next morning, but they still, you know what I mean? You could rob the man that you're with, and if you just look hot one day, he will forget. We should all strive to be more like Carla. So, yeah.
I almost fell for a scam recently. And you know what? I'm not ashamed about it because they worked hard for the money. And I hope they get money. Not mine, but somebody's, because the work they put into that. They sent me an email from my university's email address to my school email address with the university logo saying, our student center is hiring right now. Are you looking for a job? And I was like, yeah. How did they know that I'm broke right now? Yeah. And then they sent me to a website for a medical center that I would be a personal assistant to with a website that was already made. That looked legitimate. I don't like that you targeted my unemployment, but I'd be lying if I'm saying that I'm not impressed right now. The rest of it was all me though. I had it coming. I responded to the email for the job posting and they were like, yeah, you have the job. They didn't take a resume. They didn't interview me. Like, how do you think you got a job without sending a resume or doing an interview? I thought they understood I had star appeal from the way that I wrote my emails, okay? I was also really desperate for a job at the time. I conversed with this person who I thought was hiring me, but was definitely a scammer. And they were like, yeah, as my personal assistant, the first thing you're gonna do is a task I like to give to orphanages. So you're gonna buy toys for the orphans and send them to me. I'm gonna be so honest with you right now. The first thing that popped into my mind was not, is this a scam? It was, do we even have orphanages in the year of our Lord 2023? And then it was, is this a scam? So I was like, I'm gonna talk to my dad about this and he will give me a reality check and tell me if this is a scam. So I called him. I was like, Dad, the orphans need me. He was like, oh my God, this is so obviously a scam. Please do not do this. Like, forward me the email. I'll send it to your school. We'll have this sorted out. And then my school called me and they were like, yeah, this is actually a scam that's going on right now where they break into student emails and have you guys email each other from a school email and basically just scam you. Like, are you telling me the orphans don't need me right now? This just changed so much in my life because number one, I got a lot farther into being scammed than I expected I ever would. And number two, I just have this inexplicable urge to help orphans now.